Hello, and welcome again to another talk, short talks about digitalization and digital transformation with ANDRITZ. Today, we have David Grusha, our North America Vice President of Operations for Automation and Digitalization. Thank you, David, for the talk.
Well, thank you, Sahil.
Yeah, appreciate it. So, David, increasing production, decreasing the cost, and improving safety through digital transformation has become one of the priorities for any executive in process industries. From your perspective that you've been in this business for a long time, so from your perspective in North America, what are the elements that make a digital transformation successful?
Well, it's certainly a priority for companies here in North America too, by far. But the market here is different than other parts of the world. We've already had a lot of build out of plants, facilities, of mines, they exist. We don't build greenfield sites as much as they do in other parts of the world. So that creates a certain difference where people look at it and, frankly, they're not going to close their plant at 5 p.m. on Friday and say, Monday we're going to open up at 8 a.m. and we're going to be Industry 4.0 and we're going to be fully digitalized. So they want to look at it project at a time. They may evaluate it based on their business needs where they need to increase production. So they'll want to look at optimization, or the current market environment requires them to look at costs. So it's more about a reliability program. And then they want to put a reliability program which leads to sensors, which leads to more digitalization. Or quite frankly, sometimes we see cases here in North America where the plants just don't have the base layer of automation, electrification, instrumentation in place. And that's their first step, right? To get that basic layer in so that they can start to build on top of it.
So you're talking about the holistic approach and bringing the turnkey, looking at everything. What is it that ANDRITZ brings for the automation and digitalization in North America that actually differentiate us from all the other system integrators and technology providers?
Sure. I mean, you see a lot of people in the marketplace for sure. For one, we're a large and local team. We're the largest independent system integrator in the world. So that means if somebody needs to build out that common base or platform or make improvements to it, regardless of Rockwell, Siemens, ABB, Honeywell, we have the capability to do it on those platforms. We'll work with multiple instruments. And we do that with a local team, both here in the US and Canada, 150 strong engineers here in North America to do that work. So we understand the base layer, and then we also understand the digital layer. Here too, we have experts in North America to talk about optimization, to put in advanced process controls, to put in digital twins, to put in reliability. And when you look at the marketplace, you really don't see anybody who can take and apply all those skills from one vendor. And then the last thing to add on top is just the process knowledge and expertise that you get from a company like ANDRITZ.
David, I gotta be candid with you. So, as you know, I have a global position. We look at all the different industries in different places in the world. My personal take is that the way that the adaptation of the technology in North America is very different from maybe, let's say, Latin America. I see a hesitation of getting on board on the digital transformation in North America. Although maybe not everybody wants to admit it, but this is basically what we see everywhere. So what is your take on that? Why is that the North America that we think that should be the basically the first in adopting digital technology is not actually the first?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question, and that's fair to say. North America maybe hasn't been as fast as South America and other countries. Probably a lot of different reasons. One has been we do have a good workforce here in North America. Now, that's been stressed certainly by COVID and people coming back to work. And candidly, as a result, we see a lot more people today want to start with their digitalization efforts, right? They can't find the people to even do basic vibration monitoring like they used to. So now they want to look at reliability programs, for example. Or They just can't get the operators that they used to, so they want to look at training programs. So I think that that's going to start driving a lot of adoption where we haven't had it in a North American perspective. I think there's been some other things that may have, from a company's perspective, has driven or pushed them to invest funds in other priorities, maybe environmental projects, for example. But there are companies that have been advanced and have taken steps going forward. You see in pulp and paper, GP is one that has been pretty advanced. You see others in the mining space like Asarco where people want to take that step forward, they adopt the technology, they get a significant advantage, and then their competitors see it, and then that starts to generate a greater demand as well.
So for an executive that really wants to start walking through this journey, can you help us understand what would be the next step for them? What would be the first step for them to actually how to put it right and go through that path?
Yeah, I think if you want to start on a digitalization journey, right? And it is a journey. It's not something, again, you're going to close the doors on Friday, open them on Monday, and you're going to be there. You need to find a vendor who has that broader scope, that also understands your business, understands where your pain points are, and starts to address those pain points systematically and build up the infrastructure and make it ROI focused so that you start with projects that start to generate a positive return, and then you can keep building on that.
David Grosha, I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much. And we're looking forward to hear more and more success stories in the digitalization with ANDRITZ.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.